What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Nightcrawlers 2 Subterrania Mixtape dropped by Low-Key, featuring a plethora of underground artists. I went into this album 100% excited. Now, the first Nightcrawlers mixtape, it took me a little bit to get to it. You know, I went out, I was exploring all of Low-Key's discography. I did check that one out because I kind of worked backwards through his albums. And typically I don't, with collaboration albums, you know, even Tech Nine's Collabos albums, I don't go in there like super enthusiastic because obviously I'm narrow-minded, have been very guilty of that shit. And the Nightcrawlers mixtape was really no different. I made it the first time I listened to the first Nightcrawlers. I made it like 5 tracks in, and then I just stopped and went back listening to like the Oracle albums, and then, you know, basically just ventured further. It was the excitement for the announcement of this project right here that made me go listen to it. So I went into Nightcrawlers 2 100% excited. Obviously, I made a little meme about it because another group dropped their project the exact same day that Subterrania came out, that the Subterrania mixtape came out, and obviously Nightcrawlers 2 was grabbing all of my attention, and that statement has held true. This album is fucking fire. That's like a cliche word to say. It makes me think of Ritz's dork rap, you know, fire. But how else do you describe a fucking project? This album is fire. That's all I can say about it. Obviously, it is a digital release. I hope for a physical release, but there was never a physical release of the first Nightcrawler, so I'm not really going to hold my breath on a physical release of this one. I did pay for the digital copy. I want to support Low-Key. If you guys are going to do the same, make sure you go to listentolowkey.com. Buy it from there, because you get an email that has the zip file. My understanding of that is Low-Key sees 100% of that profit. I'm assuming. And going through Apple, obviously, they're going to take their slice. So I would go to Listen to Low-Key, which is where you can go listen to this album right now for free. I will put a link in the description. But being that it is a digital release, I don't have a CD, obviously, here to show you guys. So we're on Apple right now. We're on my iTunes. We're going to take a look at the tracks. We're going to look at the artworks right there. It's fucking awesome. Absolutely awesome. But yeah, let's just go through the tracks real quick. I will play snippets because obviously I paid for it. I do have, you know, audio files that I can make snippets for. But track 1 is Take Control.
Been to the streets to finally take control. Let's go. From beneath the super great rising, fumes hit every home on the horizon. Welcome to Subterrania.
Track 2 is Kill Kill Kill.
Mask up and I'm ready to kill I'm out of my pill so I cannot chill I'm taking your favorites and making them faceless. It feels like I'm made to be staying in this.
Track 3 is Behind the Black.
Into the void, up behind the black. Nightcrawlers rise, this ain't a damn trail. I'm just a motherfucking entity you can't kill.
Track 4 is Rising Up.
Rising up. Look slender man and mainstream skin thinner. The underground undisputed chief MC killer. I rip the flesh from the bone. I be
Track 5, Black Mass.
Not ready for war, not ready for war, bitch, you're not ready.
Y'all not ready for war, bitch, you're not ready. Switch it on and I'm itching to carve anybody into an all piece all heavy. Toss you into an all.
Track 6, Picture Perfect.
I'm mad slips in my desk grip, trapped underneath this, your neck drips in your life beats me your fucking eyes. Now picture perfect out with them flies like I'm no.
Track 7 is Beware.
Beware the unholy when we roll through your zip code. Bottles of BV and a shank for your lymph nodes. When the sun goes down and the moonlight comes, better lock your doors and just
Track 8, Breaking Point.
stop fucking with me. You need to think before you speak on my name. We ain't an internet click and we don't need all the fame. Fuck your
Track 9 is Hypnosis.
got a demon inside that I can't quite kill. Got a static that makes my brain feel.
Track 10 is The Rats.
Now you join the ranks of the rats. Now picture that, huh? Lost and forgotten.
Track 11, dead walking.
Obviously, cause the clock you see is been set to 11:59. It's only a matter of time before we take over the globe. It's only a matter of time.
Track 12 is Funeral.
I'm just gonna sit back, smoke stacks, lay tracks, and make sure I ain't the one standing up in front of freight train. You can try with all you got to come stop the train, but we just keep.
And track 13, is The Virus Well.
The virus way. Open the gates and let the chaos wind breathe into the atmosphere and breathe it in me with the final breath.
Now, like I said, this album, fire. It's a fucking phenomenal album. Now, I'm going to call Ron out here because we've had talks about this. That, you know, one of the things about the first Nightcrawlers is it's a very lengthy listen. It's an hour and 18 minutes. So this one here clocks in just at 51 minutes. It's not as feature heavy. Obviously, it's the theme of this album. It's Tech Nine's collabos meets Tunnel Runners. That's the best way that I have found to describe this project, this series, because I'm assuming there's going to be more in the future. But it's not quite as long. The thing about the first Nightcrawlers, and I'll potentially do a review for that album eventually. That album is best if you have a long trip, or, you know, if you just have the CD in your car, if you burn a copy of it, which I plan on doing, and you have it in your car and just every time you go somewhere, it plays. That's a great way to listen to the first Nightcrawlers. But this one is a little bit different. It's not as, you don't really have to set aside the time as much, I feel, to listen to it. Like, if you have an hour to spare, you want a good banging album to put on, boom, Nightcrawlers 2, the Subterrania Mix. It's fucking fire. That is the word of this review, fire. I've been saying that a lot in my reviews. Now, normally you guys know I like to give you top 5 songs. This one was tricky. And it was tricky because there's so many on here that I like. So I'm going to start off by telling you the 2 songs that I've skipped. They've been skipped. It's not because I don't like them. Well, the first one I feel is kind of like a speed bump song. I've referred to that in reviews before too. It kind of slows the momentum down because obviously Take Control starts off fucking out the gate, we're going. But then Kill 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 starts and it's like that. I don't know. It makes me skip it sometimes. And I think part of that also is because Behind the Black is so fucking good. Like, if you guys haven't listened to this project, or if you have listened to this project but you haven't listened to it in your car, go listen to this in your car. The shit thumps, and it thumps hard. So, Kill 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 has been skipped because of that. Also, the same way with Funeral. That beat kind of slows down, which is fine. It's towards the end of the album, so that's kind of a good place for it to slow it down. But I have been known to skip Funeral a little bit. So, my top 5 tracks. Like I said, this is difficult. This will probably change tomorrow when I'm listening to this album again. Because again, this fucking album is fucking phenomenal. I love this album. Right now, this is tricky. My top 5. Jesus, I don't know if I can. Behind the Black, like I said, great. Picture Perfect is great. Breaking Point at one point was my favorite track. The Rats is really good. It kind of makes me think about Flip the Rat a little bit for all the juggalos watching. Does anybody else have that? I just think about Flip the Rat when I listen to Rats. The Rats. But my number 1 song, my favorite song on the whole fucking album, obviously if you follow me on Instagram, this is probably no surprise to you. But I made a video. I was watching TikTok with Megs, and there's this fucking beard filter where it like turns your beard orange and your face is like purple. And I was like, oh, this kind of gives me like vibes for Hypnosis. So I fucking filmed like a video of me using that filter just to fucking play around with it with the chorus of Hypnosis playing. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just throw it on Instagram. It was probably the dumbest, I wouldn't say it's the dumbest post I've ever put, but it was weak content to throw out there to the Instagram followers. But a lot of people actually commented and liked it, so I guess it worked. But Hypnosis is the fucking shit. Replicon Radio made a post on Instagram about, I think it's like their Daily Dino, where they have like a playlist. It might have been a recap of their show, and they had like a playlist of all the songs they played in their episode or their show, their podcast. And one of them was Hypnosis, and I just put in the comments like, Hypnosis goes so fucking hard. Like I said, Breaking Point was at one point in time my favorite song, but like going into Hypnosis, it starts off slow and it builds and it builds. Then the beat just comes in and Loki's like, "Are you listening?" I'm assuming that's Loki on the chorus. "Are you listening? Gotta find a way to cut through the static." And I'm just like vibing with that shit. It's so dark. It's so good. It's fucking awesome. The third verse, his name is Tater. Now, that for real had me go like, wait a minute, is that the homie Freak? Did the homie Freak get featured on this album? And I went and double checked and it wasn't Freak. But also speaking about features that surprised me, I think it might have been Lyrizone on Take Control, the very first track. The third verse, I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like Kung Fu Vampire. You tripped me out a little bit. Like, yeah, man, the homie Kung Fu Vampire made it on the fucking Nightcrawlers too. That's dope. But it wasn't Kung Fu Vampire. Other than that, those were two features I was kind of like, I don't know, surprised. Maybe, I don't know. Kung Fu Vampire was one that I was kind of hoping to see on this mixtape, but I don't know if him and Loki rub elbows like that or not. Loki is obviously connected to a lot of underground artists. Obviously, you guys know I just started listening to Gruesome. He's on here. Fucking love Black Mass. I don't know what it is about Apple Music, but when I'm listening to this album, I have to hit back, go to Rising Up, and then go back to Black Mass, because when it starts, like, there's no audio. It'll play, but there's nothing playing. And I have to go back to Rising Up and then hit back, skip forward back to Black Mass, which is another fucking great track as well. Like I said, there's so many songs on here. It's hard to pick. It was hard to pick a top 5 for me. But yeah, I love this album. It's gonna get a lot of repeating going. Like, this was the album that interrupted my rotation of Wicked Vic. And yeah, there's other projects by Gruesome that I want to go check out, but this one keeps coming to mind and I keep going and listening to it. So, I'm trying to discover some more Gruesome. Obviously, Mad Max just dropped a new project for free that I want to go check out and drop a review for. But, this album right here is going to pull my attention for a while. It's fucking great. I fucking love it. So, tell me down below what you guys think about Nightcrawlers 2, the Subterrania Mixtape. And, yeah. Different style of review. Obviously, it's a digital release. I don't know. Going forward, I might do this even with physical CDs. I have a new light. It looks great, I think. And, yeah. This might be the way I do reviews going forward. Tell me down below what you guys think about that as well. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about the Subterrania mixtape, Nightcrawlers 2. What's your favorite track? If you have a least favorite track or one that you skip, what one is it down below as well? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.